I know some people would say I'm crazy. You're wasting money. This is this is taking on a whole new meaning for me. And besides, I'm not taking this to the grave. And I don't buy toys to flip them. Right now, this guy is a one of one to me. My dad is a one of one to me. Yeah, this is a AFA graded droids C3PO. It has a grade of 60. The guy who sold it to me indicated it was because of the creases in the card. But I don't care. I plan to open this up. I remember sitting next to his bed in the hospital room. And I could already tell that he wasn't doing well. Or I didn't think he was doing as well as they were telling him. Because he had told me that the doctor told him he'd be out in a week. And I remember he was struggling to breathe, and he just kept asking about me. He kept asking, how is YouTube going? Am I still collecting Garbage Pail Kids cards? He asked about some of the toys. And then I just started showing him pictures on the phone. And I started saying, hey, Dad, do you remember this? Do you remember that? And he was like, yeah. And I had showed him the picture of my brother and the C3PO from Return of the Jedi in the background, the removable limbs. And he's like, yeah, I remember that. And I told him, yeah, I found it. And I showed him the sealed figure I bought off eBay. And he smiled and he laughed. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've just been collecting all these toys that you gave me and Johnny, my brother, from our childhood photos. And he thought that was pretty cool. And I showed him some Legos that his mom, my grandmother, had gotten me. And I showed him different toys, different figures. And he remembered everything. Yeah, right over here is where I have my C3PO removable limbs and my C3PO from The Phantom Menace. I did test out the Phantom Menace version inside of a display case, but I needed to order the new display stands because the original Kenner Star Wars vintage display stands do not work with the new figures. So slowly but surely, I'm gonna get all of the movie C3POs. Yeah, and I really like the prequel trilogy C3POs. I think they did an amazing job. I remember when I got home, I couldn't sleep, and I kept thinking about that C3PO figure for some odd reason. I went ahead and I filmed myself opening it up, and I started just editing the video to try to take my mind off of things. And I started thinking about Blade Runner from 1982. And that was one of my dad's favorite movies. And I remember watching that movie as a kid. And C3PO and Blade Runner stuck with me. And I put those two together in the video. Because when I was younger, I didn't really think too much about C3PO. But as I grew up as an adult, I started thinking about C3PO through a different lens. He's in every movie. And I started thinking about the fact that technically he could keep going on and on and on because he's a droid. And in that essence, in some ways, it's like he's living forever. And maybe a part of me just wanted to keep my dad living forever. I mean, he's gonna live as long as I'm alive. He's gonna live in my heart. So I just became obsessed with C3PO, and I wanted to collect all the different versions. And I remember when I was looking through eBay, the droids figure popped up. I was like, I had to have it. I want to collect every single C3PO. It's gonna be my little project from this point forward.
surprised you didn't come here sooner.
It's not an easy thing to meet your maker.
I've never had a card, or not a card, I've never had a figure with the coin before. This is my first coin. So I did buy a special case to display this particular figure, just in case I want to display the coin. There you go. Droids. A protocol droid. It's pretty cool. It's a neat idea. Alright, the man of the hour. The man of every hour. C-3PO. This is so cool. I love this figure. This is probably... It's close. Because that C-3PO with removable limbs has probably been my favorite action figure up to this point. But this one right here represents the journey. So right now I have C-3PO Phantom Menace. I just picked up Attack of the Clones C-3PO. I have C-3PO droids. I have C-3PO removable limbs. I have ordered the original C-3PO from Star Wars 1977. So I'm getting close. I really like this figure because of the function of adding the armor plates back onto C-3PO. Yeah, initially the idea was to, kind of like in the movie Iron Man, and he has a bunch of suits on display. That was my initial vision for it. So I bought a bunch of display cases, action figure stands. I even bought a light to shine underneath. And one of my favorite pickups of the past year, I had it as a kid, so it's a bonus, is the C-3PO collector's case. I thought it'd be pretty cool to put that in the background and then the stand in front of it and have my own little hall of C-3POs. But, you know, we'll see how it turns out. Everything in the head always looks better, for the most part, than the final vision. But you try to match it as much as you can. And that's what I'm going to do.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the 10-house gate. All those moments will be lost in time.
I titled that video, Why Do We Collect Toys from Our Childhood? You know, initially for me, you know, we live in a crazy time. A lot of things going on around us. There is negativity. I always try to look at the positivity. But, you know, just revisiting my childhood helps me remember fun times, great moments. And it puts me in a better mindset. That's why I collect toys. And now, you know, my mom's been gone for a while now. So every time I'd open up toys, it reminds me of my childhood moments with my mom. And now it's a way of visiting my dad as well. So that's why I collect my childhood toys. I don't care about the price.